Hey friends, welcome to April Week 2 Watercolor Challenge 2025. This is 5 quick and fun, easy exercises to boost your creativity. And we had some tornado warning sirens this week. So this week is all about weather and skies. How perfect. So think rain. We've had lots of it lately. Wind, sunsets, and even a little stargazing. These are super loose paintings. Now, this is all about little fun studies to help you explore different moods and maybe techniques with your watercolors. So this week, what I painted, I did a rainy April sky with solid clouds. I did a windy day with trees bending, a bright, colorful sunset, a starry night with moonlight, which actually was my favorite one, and a rainbow after the storm. So I kept these really small, loose, perfect for warm-ups, you guys, daily sketchbook kind of practice things. So I'm going to be letting the water do most of the work here. I'm going to use a limited palette because I want to avoid those muddy colors. I would love to know which one speaks to you the most. Leave me a note in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to tag your post with hashtag April Nature Watercolors if you're following along. And if you want more behind the scenes or the full tutorials, come join us on Patreon or just in the Facebook group and you can post your work there. All right, so this week's challenge is Spring Skies and Weather. I am going to use my sketchbook for this one again. I'm just continuing on the sketchbook. Now, this paper is not the best quality, but it works. I'm also using that needle point brush, my Fufumi brush. I think that's how you say it. I could be saying that wrong. Sorry if I am. Correct me if I am. So that's all you'll need. Watercolors, your little brush, and your sketchbook. This is my Vivio sketchbook. And look at that. I just want to say, holy cow, that purple in my Rosa kit just burst. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I decided I wasn't going to do anything more with that one. This was a kickoff to the week. And it's just super pretty to watch color sometimes, just kind of stargazing at it. So I am going to add a little bit of that chartreuse green color. Now, these are not two colors I usually would work together, but the color combo is just so beautiful. They are kind of opposite on the color wheel, and they just really work nice together. Again, a fun part of this week, this whole month of challenges is just, trying out some different colors, seeing what you like. I mean, I'm always sticking to the same stuff. It's always like seascapes, blue, green, a little bit of rock with grays and purple. So this is really fun for me. So again, I'm going to keep most of these under 5 minutes and use each day's prompt. So this one was, what was this day? This was, I have to back up here and take a look. Okay, maybe it's on my Facebook page. I'm going to look at my Facebook page. Here we go. Monday it was April showers, which is a rainy sky or puddle. So that was my attempt at a puddle. I'm like, it doesn't really, it sort of kind of looks like a puddle, but I could have worked a lot better on that. I just did this one fast. I'm going to use a little bit of white just to do a little splattering in here. Maybe like it's raining out. I don't know. And then maybe a little bit more in the puddle itself. So there we have it. The first day is done. Let's move on to day 2 of our challenge. A windy day, swirling clouds, or trees bending. All right, so again, I want to keep this super simple, super fast. This is, again, all about just exercises to boost your creativity. So as I'm sitting here thinking, I like the color combo of that pink and the ochre that I had done earlier. So I'm trying something new. I mean, that's not a normal color for a sky maybe and ground. Well, maybe I guess it could be, I suppose. If you get a pink sunset and you've got like a fall color on the bottom. So I'm just going to start in with that wet sky. You can see I'm even using dirty water here. I even changed my water. You know what? It's all about fun. We don't care. We don't care this week. Use dirty water. Dirty water can be your friend. So I'm going to add some of that pink in there. So this is again from my Rosa kit. I'm going to add the ochre. And remember, quinacridone gold, whatever you've got for yellows. And, just play around. Whatever you have for colors, whatever you have for brands. That's not what this is about. It's just about experimenting and playing and getting loose, not always worrying about that darn outcome. I think we don't enjoy the play of watercolors as much as we should a lot of the time. And I want to bring that back for you. If you had those artists, those teachers, those mean teachers back in school, I remember, oh my gosh, the high school teachers were really tough. I remember that. I felt like I couldn't do anything right, but if you have folks like that and thought, I can't paint, I can't do it. It's not about outcome painting. It's about the process of painting. If you do nothing, play around with the colors, scribble, just be like a kid again. So I've got my colors, they've dried. I do have a little bit of a spot up there, so I'm going to add a little bit more white to that just to smooth that out, make a few more clouds since this is supposed to be swirling clouds. This would really be cool too with like a pen and ink, I could see like the swirls, like a starry night kind of thing, really make it over dramatized. That would be fun. But we're going to simplify it. So I'm going to add some more clouds in here, and then I'm going to grab my pen. So I'm going to use my G-Tech 4 pen. This is just a regular fine tip pen. You could also use your Micron pens. This one is not waterproof, so I'm not planning on going back in and adding more water to this. So just scribbling. Again, look at that. Fun. Just having fun. Just like little shapes. Not really rocks. Sort of rocks. They don't have to be perfect. So I've got some scribble going on here. Now I need to add that tree because this is trees bending. That was the other part of that. The theme today. So instead of doing my normal mean looking pine trees, I think I'm going to do something more, leaning in the breeze. Like I think it's called Joshua tree. I can't remember for sure. Let me know what kind of tree this is. Maybe it's just a made up tree, but I do remember when I was in Arizona, they had these trees that kind of leaned. They were in the red rock. This is even making more sense now. Look, it's like red rock. I could have added a little bit of red to that. And the bottom made it look more earthy or clay. See, this is how you get ideas, you guys, by doing these little things. And like, ooh, I could try this. I could try that. And this is what this is about. This gets your brain going, and it's good for us. Okay, so we are going to finish this one up. We are next going on to day 3, which is Wednesday, April 9th. This one is going to be a vibrant sunset. I'm excited about this one because I love sunsets, and I think I've done this color combo before as well. I'm going to use my purples and my oranges for this one. Remember, this is an April challenge, but it doesn't matter when you do these. You can start at week 1, the first week of May. You could start at the second week of May. This could be September. It doesn't matter. It's just about doing it. So start those days. Start week 1. You can go back and watch the first video that I did. I will link that for you guys down below. And you can watch that one first if you want to start at the beginning. All right, so I'm just adding in my orange. Now this orange is a little more dull, so let's pop in some of that more vibrant orange. So you can see, again, I'm being really messy on the edges here. I thought about this afterward, like, I should have taped it because it would have been so much more prettier and crisp. So I'm going to add the purple to it. Now remember, purple and yellows kind of make this mud color. So, depending on the colors that you have, some are going to work, some are not going to work. And again, that's really about experimenting and having fun and finding out, what tools you have and if it's going to work for you or not. You can see I had done the scrap test strips on the other side. I'd use more of a red orange. I'd use the bright orange. You could try a lighter purple. So I knew I needed to go pretty dark with that purple. So it's quite strong pigment. So another fun thing you can do if you're doing reflections, just turn your page up and down instead of sideways. Or maybe this is sideways. Depends on how you look at it, I guess. But you can see where you can mirror that image a little bit better if you're doing a reflection. Because remember, whatever's in the sky is going to show in the water down below. Right? Makes sense. So we have a beautiful color here. I'm going to dry this, come back. And this is where I go, oh gosh, I really don't like the messiness of the edge. So I'm like, well, let's just try taping it up now. So I ended up taping it. I didn't tape it. I don't know what I was thinking because I think I was talking while I was doing it. I should have gone further on the edge, right? So that I could have covered that up. Like I ended up having to fix that too. All right, always one for loving a silhouette. So I choose to do my black. Now this black actually has a little bit of purple in it. I think it's called grape. And I am going very, very dark. And look at the brush, the Fufumi brush. See how great that is because I can use the tip of that to create, look at those tiny little tree tops I can get with that. It's such a fine tip brush. And then it holds so much water and so much paint because the belly of the brush is so thick. So it goes a lot further than my little liner brushes. So I'm into these things. They do They do take some practice though. I think I've said that before because you don't want to put down too much pressure and use the belly of the brush where you don't want it because then it gets too thick. But other than that, I mean, I think that's what it's all about. It's great for making flowers. I did that. If you want to check out my Facebook page, I shared I called it 50 Shades of Gray, but I did put a little bit of gold in the middle of it too. But look at that. I can get just even more little clouds in there if I want to. Again, super quick, little reflection in the water with the black, and we are wrapping this day up as well. Except for I didn't wrap it up. But look how much better that is with a nice crisp edge. So I realized I didn't go over far enough. So I did try to fix that. Day 4 is a starry night with a moon glow. And I have been seeing all over the place. I think I've done this, I don't know how many times in the past, but I recently seen it a lot where people take a cup or something and they use the circle from that to make a half circle. I didn't have that, so I'm going to use my coaster I happen to have on here, and I'm just going to trace around it because I want to keep that circular shape. Now, I should have painted the whole thing in, but again, I was trying to do this quickly, leading into just the practice for the day to boost my creativity. It's a new day. It's a new painting. And I did find the brush, I was trying to use the belly of the brush a little bit more, so I do need a little bit more practice with that to keep it within the lines, but again, it's okay. We're just playing. Adding a little bit of blue to the yellow ochre, then I'm going to add a little purple on top of that. Just let it sort of mix. I was trying to do like a half moon look, and then I had to go back in and reshape it as I was thinking about it. 'Cause initially, it was just going to be a ledge. But then I was like, well, it's sort of like a moon. I'm doing the moon theme, so let's try like a half moon shape. And then I realized, well, I'm going to be putting trees in here anyway, so I don't really need to have that perfect. So look at that. When I pop the trees in on top of it, add a little bit of rock, I'm going to cover up some of that anyway. But then I was thinking I probably could have just filled that whole circle in. But at the time, I'm like, well, let's just put a moon in there. I do like white space as well. So I opted to put a full moon in here. I used a little bit of the white. I got some purple on my brush. You can see it's sort of discolored and add a little bit black to it. So we got a little crater going on in there. And I'm going to call that done. I did end up erasing that line because I wasn't going to do a background for that moon area. And so there we go. Wrapped it up. Oh, I do want to splatter a little bit of white in there too for it almost looks like stars or something, or snow, or, you know, whatever. For the next day, we are doing, this is the ugliest one of the whole group. I did a rainbow after the rain and I was like, oh, how do I do that? Like, I don't know. So I just did a rainbow. This one I decided to tape up again before I started, and this is that problem with that brush. See how that got really, really fat in the end when I was trying to do things in a hurry? That's what happens. So you do have to kind of take it slow. I'm horrible at taking things slow. I did have to look at the rainbow colors because I could not remember what order they came in. But it was red, orange, yellow. And look at that. It's just kind of bleeding into the other one. Then it was green. That green went way into the yellow. Again, I'm not worried about it. A little bit of blue, didn't wash my brush. It's okay. And then finally some purple. I got a lot of drips going on. You can see how much paint that thing holds. And I'm talking really fast. But I was like, oh my gosh, this is a mess. But you know what? I'm showing it to you anyway, because that is what we do. We are having fun. It's okay. And I mean, I could have put some salt in here. But I was trying to think of, okay, after a rainbow, after the rain, like, I just wasn't feeling anything for this one, and that's okay. So I started to splatter a little bit of water in here. You can see how dirty, again, my water is because I still haven't cleaned it. I have a lot of purples and greens going in there, so it was getting very gray. So I threw some more of the black back in there, so we've got like some speckles, but it still looks like rain, maybe acid rain or dirty rain or debris flying from our tornadoes that we've been having with this crazy weather. Oh my goodness. We're fine, by the way. We do have a shelter in the house, so that was good. But it did not hit here. It hit about 8 miles from the house, and it did do some damage, but it could have been a lot worse. And it was crazy weather this week. And I really am thinking about everybody that had to go through all of that and the flooding. It was crazy. So ironically, spring skies and weather was for this week. So Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Feel free to use your Saturdays and Sundays just to do a free choice or catch up. And remember, you don't have to do all of these, but if you do them, don't forget to do hashtag nature watercolors if you put them on social media, because I would love to see them. And don't forget to watch the first week video if you're just joining in, and we'll have week 3 and week 4 coming up. All right, see you in the next one. Bye.